Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Elle. If you are brand new to the channel, we have a bunch of new subscribers and I just want to say thank you and welcome. And if you are one of my regulars, I'm very excited to see you as well, and thank you so much for all of your support. But today is a fun video. Today we are talking about how to highlight and contour your face if you have a little bit more mature face. So just like me, obviously anybody in your 30s, 40s, 50s, and 60s, I'm hoping that this tutorial from our Basics 101 series can help you shape, define your face, and really bring out your best assets. So if you want to know how to do that, keep on watching. All right, so what we're going to do first is I want to chat with you first about why I wanted to do this video. Reason being is that obviously, as we know, highlight contour is a trend that is not new, A, and B, it seems to not be going anywhere. So I want to really address the way that you would highlight and contour for a very natural effect and for somebody that has a more mature face, because people that are a lot younger, you know, late teens, 20s, late 20s, even early 30s, you can basically, you know, highlight and contour your face any way that you choose. But when you get a little bit older, you want to use highlight and contour to help reshape your face and maybe highlight some of the things you want to bring out and diminish some of the things that you want to kind of conceal. So what we're going to do is we're first going to start with a cream highlight and contour. Now this tip is also great if you have maybe family pictures that you're doing or corporate photos that you might be doing coming up, because the way that we're going to be layering products really gives the most beautiful, natural, contoured face. So I'm going to be actually starting with the Maybelline Master Contour, and this is in 10, and it's called Light. They also have them in a bunch of different colors. I was thinking about doing number 15, which is medium, but I think it might be too dark. So this I love because it has one side is contour and one side is highlight, so you kind of have everything that you possibly would need in one little stick. All right, so, and you can also do this with different colors of foundation, so you don't have to get this product, but basically for your contour, make sure you're using a foundation color that's about 2 to 3 steps darker than your normal foundation, and for your highlight, you know, you can go anywhere from 1 to 2 steps lighter than your natural skin tone, but I would go with 1 step lighter, but this kind of makes it easy. All right. So obviously one of the first parts that we will talk about will be the sides of the face. And I do want to preface this. This is just my opinion, my tips to you. I hope it helps you guys. I know that my tips don't help every single person, and we all have, you know, different things that we're dealing with, but maybe just try these out and see if this might work for you. When you're talking about contouring on the side of the cheeks, as we get older, some of us fill out a little bit more and some of us get a little bit more gaunt, okay? So for me, I am probably going to be getting a little bit fuller because that's just what my mom did and that's just in my genes. So if you are having a tendency to be a little bit more gaunt, I want you to bring your contour just above where you would normally contour. So the way you contour is you find the top of your ear and you kind of sink it in where your jawbone or your cheekbone ends. And that is where your contour should be, right? And you never really want to contour farther than your pupil. What I would suggest is if you have tendency to be more a little gaunt, which means a little bit more sunken in the cheeks, either skip this part altogether or bring your contour up a little bit higher than your contour line. But for me, I am getting, like I said, a little bit more round, so I am going to contour in that hollow, okay? So I'm just gonna go like that. And if you wanna suck your cheeks in to find it, you can. I don't really, you know, put this up here because I already have such a nice pronounced apple of my cheeks, but if you want this to be a little bit more round, you're going to bring your contour up here, and that'll give that optical illusion. Now, also too, as we age, sometimes our face can kind of sink in right here. So for me, this does kind of go in a little bit. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to highlight right here. So you want to highlight the places that you want them to be more prominent, and you want to contour the sections that you want to be receding, okay? Now I have a large forehead, so I am going to contour along my hairline, just like this. And then I like to highlight right here in the center of my face and down my nose. Now, you know me, I am not a huge fan of nose contouring, but I'm going to do it just for this video so you guys can see how to do it if you have more of a larger nose or something that you want to like kind of thin. So what you want to do is you want to start with your contour from where your brow starts and bring it all the way down. Now, I do have this kind of little bump right here. Now, you don't want to go underneath that bump with the contour. You want to go on top of the bump, so it recedes it and gives an optical illusion of it being less pronounced. Just like this, okay? All right, so you want to have that shadow right here because this is a natural shadow. This is how it starts. You never just want to contour right here. Now, if you wanted your nose to be a little bit thinner on the ends, you can just take your contour and just kind of give it a little bit of a more rounded effect there. Now, I like to take a contour on my eyelid because that's a normal place to contour. A little bit of highlight underneath my brow. I just got it all over my brow. On top of my brow, because that gives an instant kind of facelift. And then, of course, you're going to highlight on top of that cheekbone. And then some people like, you know, I like to bring this out just a little bit, and obviously right here. Now we have these kind of smile lines. If you have those like I do, and you want to diminish them, put a little bit of highlight there, okay? All right. Now as far as the jawline, I know this is a big kind of place for a lot of us that we start to get some sort of sagging. So you're gonna take your contour and you're gonna go from your ear down to your jaw. Now, if you can see right here, I have this kind of starting to ever so slightly start to dip. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go on my cheek, on my jawline, and I'm going to go on top of it. Okay, so I did not go right on my jawline. I went a little bit above it because I want to basically erase that or recede that. Okay, so you can see immediately it's kind of slimmed that portion of my face out. So that is a bonus. All right, so easy as that as far as placement. Now, you can either use a brush or a beauty blender, whatever floats your boat. But I think I'm probably going to use a beauty blender, and I'm going to blend out the highlight first and then the contour. Now, if you also too want to use a little bit of setting spray to help this kind of stay in place and be, you know, set and stay for, you know, a long period of time throughout the day, then set your, wet your beauty blender or your brush with a little bit of setting spray. All right, so I'm just going to go ahead and start to bounce this highlight out. And now when you're blending this highlight out, you don't want to blend it out completely and away. You still want to have this dimension in your face so that when you put foundation over it, you can still see your highlighting, contouring, and hard work through it. Now you also can highlight underneath this contour. If you have really round cheeks that you want to chisel out, you can highlight underneath here as well, but I have a tendency just to do that with powder. All right, so I'm going to blend that contour out now. And you want to blend this contour up into the cheekbone. You never want to blend this contour down. And this goes back into your hairline. This never goes down either. And then this down here blends down into your neck. And I love this product because it blends so easily. And then the nose, you want to just go up and down, up and down. And if you're gonna do any kind of blending, you're gonna blend this way, up into your nose. And then just from your eyes, blend that out a little bit. Just like that. Now, if you feel like you've over blended, you can always go in and just add a little bit more contour. All right, so now an extra tip if you're going for extra credit is I like to use the new Master Strobing Stick by Maybelline as well. This is in number 100. And I actually, it has a little bit of light reflecting properties to it. I actually go on top of my cheekbone, just ever so slightly down the nose, Cupid's bow, and right here. What it'll do is it'll just help to illuminate the skin underneath that foundation and just make it look a little bit more healthy and radiant, and that will shine through your foundation. As easy as that. So now you're just gonna take your foundation. I like to use a liquid foundation for this technique. Of course you can use creams, but if you really want this kind of flawless effect, you're gonna wanna try to do layers that are kind of more lighter weight, all right? All right, so now I'm gonna take that foundation and just literally start bouncing it all over my face. And I am going to avoid the under eye area so we're not adding extra texture. All right, so yeah, so do you guys see how the face still has kind of great definition, luminosity. It has a great highlight over the lip, and right here you can see this has also started to diminish because of that highlighting. Eyebrow lift, of course. Hairline is nice and contoured. And so basically that is the kind of first portion of how to contour for this face shape. All right, so I went ahead and completed my eyes, and I just powdered with some baked powder, and just to make sure that that first kind of layer is all set. I also obviously did my brows and added just a little hint of a satin color on my eyelids, because I wanted to show you that right here is just the contour that we did together, and same with this highlight. So my eyes were basically already done. So that was really quick as well. And you can still see that the face has great definition to it. It has some luminosity still, so winning on all fronts there. All right, so now you're just gonna want a matte bronzer. I just love this little one from Benefit Hoola. They gave it to me, it has my name on it. I just can't, they're so freaking cute. So what I'm gonna do is I like to use a matte bronzer. We're just gonna use that bronzer in the places that we contoured. Now this is also going to help further set what we did and reinforce it. It's also gonna help us not have to use so much. So it's going to be a little bit more of a natural effect. So again, you can see that I am going in an upward motion on top of that cheek, underneath that jawline, and around the hairline. And I love the brush that comes with this because it's so easy to use and just fits right into those parts of your face that you need this for. And of course, if you want to, you know, go for it and have more dramatic highlight and contour, then by all means, go for it. I'm just trying to show you a little bit more of a natural look. And again, we're just going over that. See the subtle dimension that this gives the face? It's such like a rock star, all-star product. I love it. Also too, this is, you know, not an everyday look unless you have time to do this, but you definitely will get amazing payoff if you do. So this is not an essential step because we've already put the highlight on, but I do like to take just a matte, lighter shade. This is in the It Cosmetics matte highlight. As it says, it's a matte highlight, and I just like to kind of just go right on top of that cheekbone to reinforce that light right there, and on my temple, and just kind of gently right here. All right, so now I am actually going to apply my highlight first and then blush afterwards. All right, so for a highlight, and if you wanted to put a bronzer like, you know, like a more sparkly bronzer, you can go ahead and go for that, but in my opinion, you don't really need it. Plus, it has a tendency when you use too many sparkly products to start to show texture on the face. So I like to go with more matte products and then maybe just strategically place those kind of like, you know, dewy, radiant, luminous highlighters, all right? So now we're just going to, we're just going to use this one right here, this one. And I can't show it to you for too long because that's coming up in a really great video. But it's just a really nice highlighter. I'm going to place that on the top of my cheekbones. And again, you can go as aggressive as you want with this. I am going to just do a very natural, luminous highlight. If you want to know what this is, you got to stay tuned until my dupes video. And when you highlight the nose, highlight in the middle here if you are not oily. If you are oily, that is going to drive you crazy. And you do not need a highlight at the bottom of your nose unless your nose is very narrow on the end. You just need a little bit of highlight right here on the bridge of your nose. Nothing crazy. And then Cupid's bow and right here. All right, and then I am going to take just a touch underneath my brow. Literally, right wherever you highlighted to start with, that's where you're going to highlight with this product as well. I'm just going to take a soft peach blush. And I like to do my blush after my highlight, so it's a little bit more subdued. Also, too, as we age, we like to start to bring our blush up a little bit higher because it gives us an instant facelift. It gives an optical illusion of everything kind of migrating up. So I would pay more attention to your blush being up in this area. And again, you don't need to add on that highlight that we did first, because if you're going to use a blush that has any kind of luminosity to it, then you're already, good to go. You don't need to add a second layer of luminosity to your skin or highlight. And then I also too would urge you to not bring your blush up too far here, because if you're trying to conceal and hide any kind of under eye darkness, bags, things like that, any kind of swelling, that is going to just add to it. So just keep that in mind to keep everything kind of in this upward direction. Set the face. You definitely want to set the face when you have done this technique because you don't want any of your hard work to move. So that's it. I know it was a couple of steps, but I hope that this helped you be able to, transform your face into anything you might possibly want to, and really give you some confidence in exploring something new when it comes to makeup. As you can tell, it looks really natural. No one would know that you have, a ton of highlight and contour on, but your face looks super, sculpted, perfected, and that's what we want. All right, so keep those subscriptions coming and thumbs up, and I will see you guys on the next one. Lots of love from me to you. Mwah. Bye, you guys.